Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 1 of a best of 3. It is a Protoss versus a Terran. And boy am I excited about it because it's between two incredible players. Of course, a reminder to everyone, you could have watched this live because I'm starting streaming. And if I'm starting streaming, you can watch it live at twitch.tv/Madals. And that's definitely what you want to go and hit and follow so you can see all the cool stuff I do. Anyway, let's introduce these two players down in the bottom right hand position, spawning as the red Protoss player. It is none other than the incredible Protoss. He is such a cool guy. It is ToD. And his opponent down in the bottom left, the blue Terran player who I've never met, but I think is pretty swish in his playstyle. I can assure you, it is MarineKing Prime. Oh yeah, definitely something fun to be getting on with. Of course, this is on Newkirk Precinct Tournament Edition, where there is the cool little icon. I seriously love this. I said every time, this would make an awesome tattoo. I know someone who watches my videos has it as a tattoo, and you are awesome, sir. It is. I'm assuming you're a sir, but even if you're not a sir, if you're a madam, well, you are also pretty damn swish. So you should be very happy about that. I'm just having a look at all of these things. Like, seriously, look at how high all of this is. This must be, like, miraculously high. Oh, and wow, look at that. There's, like, a little... Is that a wolf or something? So on the other side there is. Wow, I want some of them on my driveway. That would be awesome. But anyway, enough about that. We do have a probe moving out here for Mr. ToD at the moment after getting a gateway down. We've got, obviously, a command center first on his way out from MarineKing because he has not made a barracks. He has not proxied it, and he's nearly up to 400 minerals. And that says to us what? Command center is coming down. Us casters, we don't have some omnipotent knowledge of what's happening. We just have the advantage of being able to see what both players' vision is, also a production tab, and also both players' minerals and gas. That's really quite helpful to get a good indicator of what's going on in the game. Certainly I could play a lot better if I had this information when I was playing. It would be really quite swish. Anyway, we do see gas. There was, probes all getting pulled out of gas here. At an interesting time, ToD pulling that out after seeing that it was a CC first, so maybe going to go for a little bit more aggression, trying to get a few more minerals, or alternatively going to try and rush out his own Nexus. So down comes the Nexus, I think, because there is quite a few minerals banked up here. So ToD just saying, okay, well, if he's going to go CC first, I need to get my Nexus up. I can squeeze that out. Of course, ToD doing this is going to get his economy just a little bit more solid. Boom, there we go. Straight away down comes that Nexus. Meanwhile, MarineKing, double barrack straight off. Very normal thing. And oh no, first kill nearly went down there. This poor probe nearly was victorious, delaying the command center, might I add, by not a huge amount, but a couple of seconds. And really every second does count that you're able to knock back the first couple of buildings, because it has a huge knock-on effect. Cybercore coming down, probe's back in gas now. That's after the Nexus was started, that gas started getting mined again. So it's all looking really pretty good. This probe is being controlled in just such a nice fashion. And it sounds like... I'm loving ToD a bit much, but he's doing some awesome things like hiding the cellar around the back here so that the SCV doesn't see it, because this now means it can come up. 1 Marine versus 1 Zealot can't do anything. 2 Marines versus 1 Zealot can do something, and that's why this one's running away, waiting for his buddies to come out. Anyone who has played the StarCraft Masters game by Blizzard in the arcade, where you have to do all those micro tricks and things, will know just how well it works. But it's still taking up a bit of time and attention. A couple of their SCVs actually going down. One getting killed here, another one getting pulled, the very low one. Could we get a third kill? Yeah, oh, a second kill does go down. The third, of course, not quite getting achieved there. But ToD now just doing a little bit of damage. And look how far ahead he is in the work account, 24 to 19. That is fairly huge, and is going to have a good knock-on effect. Of course, has been scouted though now. Oh no, the Nexus wasn't spotted straight away. Oh, it wasn't spotted building. Now it is confirmed. But that is a much later scout than perhaps MarineKing would have wanted. And as a result now, ToD, he's just going to be over the moon. He's going to be like, well, you didn't scout anything important. You didn't see that there was a forge or a gateway coming down here. So lots of the important information about what ToD's actually doing has never been identified. The Stalker as well will be able to force back the scouting SCV, preventing that information from getting found. Of course, because these additional barracks were thrown down, the reactors, the tech labs, etc. delayed, stim delayed, the gases delayed, all due to the fact that it was a CC first. Knock-on effects. ToD is playing this remarkably well against MarineKing at the moment, saying, well, if my opponent is going for this sort of build, I can get my expansion up, and I can also risk getting a very early upgrade. That's going to be critical. This early upgrade, especially when chrono boosted, is going to be out hugely before that of MarineKing, because he's only just now starting his engineering bay. Very nicely done here by ToD. He's also ahead in the probe count, but we've got to factor in the fact that there are 2 mules getting called down for MarineKing. That gives him an edge in terms of the income at the moment. We can see there just nuzzling out about 200 or so more minerals every minute. ToD's one lone mothership corp did get forced back by the Marines and stuff, but saw that there was a tech up there. That's the important thing. I don't believe saw that there was an extraction coming down, a reactor coming down, but now we'll see it. Confirms the barracks is where it's coming out. As long as the mothership core gets away and doesn't get killed, that's definitely worthwhile. But as we see, ToD, he's just still happily getting down his forge. He knows what's coming, getting a couple more gateways down the robo, because he's seen quite a few barracks. He's seen just a decent chunk of units getting made, and it's like, well, there's a push coming, I've got to be careful. He also hasn't yet seen that a factory is getting started, so he's probably thinking, okay, where is the tech? Is there a push coming, just say with stim and +1 with no medevacs? That could be coming for super early. If I haven't seen the... Oh, he has seen the engineering bay. Okay, so he knows the +1 is coming down. So, as it stands, ToD is investing a lot in terms of his upgrades and his economy. Now just starting to ramp up production and tech, but that's why he's not really got too much for standing army. It's literally just a couple of sentries. He's playing very defensively, playing for the mid and later game. Meanwhile, MarineKing, he's getting out a decent chunk of units and his starport as well, so his tech's coming along nicely. His upgrades are about to kick in. He's got stim pack nearly done. ToD, though, he's already got +1 and is starting on +1 ground armor and the robotics bay. That means once this observer's done, it's probably going to be straight into a Colossus, not an Immortal. That is a very tech-heavy play coming out of ToD. He is playing completely for the mid and late game, nothing early. If he was taking a push now, he'd be in a lot of problems. But why is he able to do this when he's still taking, or while he's taking so many risks? It's because the scouting, the mothership corps, the hallucinated phoenix, the push up with the zealot. He knows exactly what his opponent's doing, and as such, knows that this sort of risk can get taken. A push cannot come until at least these medevacs are out. It may even be a drop, because this is a vulnerable location, and that's why ToD is making sure that he's keeping vision of all of this in case a drop came down, and also he's keeping his army positioned at the top of the ramp so that if a push comes to the natural, he can run down. If it comes into a drop, he's still up on the high ground and can get back quite easy. But the observer is going to get an amazing look, sees the entire army. ToD's moving back with it, sticking with it, knows exactly where it's going. He's also now going to be able to see should the medevacs just come and pick up those units, and if the drop's coming down. He's also got an observer sitting in the back here on a patrol just to make sure that he sees any medevacs that could be coming in. Very smart play, everything coming down. The first Colossus is nearly completed, and that is going to make a big difference. We've also got the Twilight Council ready for +2 to get started as soon as +1 armor done. The observer now sniped off with that good scan. Is this going to be enough to push? Of course, ToD desperately needs that first Colossus. It's nearly there. Single Marine comes up, sees that there's a couple of gateway units there. May war on the move, but didn't see the Colossus quite yet. Hasn't been seen by MarineKing. There goes the scan. Sees the Colossus, and of course, we'll probably see the upgrades loading up into the medevacs. Could go for a split each way. Some of the units up into the natural, some up into the main, but there's a decent number of stalkers. This is now just the dance of death. Both players want to get into the advantageous position, but remember, ToD does have the observer there. He's keeping a good eye on what is happening. He knows precisely where his opponent's moving, and if that drop's coming in, that is giving him such a big advantage. But the medevacs boosting that away because there is, of course, a zealot chipping away at SCVs. There's only a single zealot, but this is already just being very frustrating. Only got a single kill, wasting some mining time, and just saying, irritating. 2 medevacs still pulled back, but they're coming back in. They're trying to really just doubt the size of this army, but ToD is going to see these additional 2 medevacs and may not think there's anything in there. That's the real ploy that MarineKing's gone for. Now killed off that observer. Oh, this is a big pickup. ToD, did he see it though? He sees something. He's got stalkers up here. The medevac's taking quite a bit of fire. This is not going to be good. 1 medevac does fall very quickly. The units already dropped out are now going to get annihilated. The push probably going to come straight into the natural though, but ToD's already got units there, and MarineKing is forced to pull back. The upgrade's +2 on its way down. Meanwhile, for MarineKing, it's 1-1 up against 1-1, so everything equal for the time being, but charge also on its way. The Colossi count up to 2. The third one is not on the way though. That's very important to note. No third Colossus quite yet. That's because ToD's going for a bit of a push. He's adding on some additional gateways and also trying to secure up this third base. He's making sure that he takes the economy because he's just held off a big push. Has he also seen this third CC? I'm not quite sure if he has. No, he hasn't seen any sign of it apart from up in there. So he has seen it up in the main, but not that it's flown down quite yet, but he knows that he needs to be getting that out. He's getting the warp prism, going to try and do a little bit of harassment, most likely into the main base, and now the big zealot warp in could be effective. My concern for ToD though is he's still on getting single upgrades, whereas MarineKing has now switched into getting double upgrades. That means that he can get slightly ahead. We do see a good number of Vikings coming out, and that's why this early tech switch into High Templar with that Templar Archives could be great, because if MarineKing overcommits the Vikings, doesn't get ghosts out quickly enough, that's where ToD could get a real kind of composition advantage over MarineKing that'll be very effective. Remember as well, ToD does still have these 2 pylons proxied out to the top of the map, ready to come in with a couple of units if he needs to. That could be very effective for him. But more importantly, he's adding on to some more gateways, he's playing things very steady, and he's now got his 3rd up. So that means the economy's going to start looking a little more equal, because at the moment MarineKing mining a lot more minerals per minute, and that's really an influencing factor. But 2nd starport being added on, clearly MarineKing is expecting a lot more Colossi, especially with +1 ship weapons there too. No sign at all of anything else coming down, but down come the Zealots. This is going to force back a lot of the army, and of course the engineering bay could get focused down very quickly, positioning those Zealots around so the rest of them can come in and start trying to pick away at some of this as quickly as possible. But a quick repair up on the engineering bay just means nothing's going to happen. The 3rd taking a little bit of damage, but only a small amount of infantry pulled back in order to attack. That nice save, keeping that +2 upgrade coming, and this is where ToD now knows that, hang on, my opponent is getting double upgrades, but he's got Storm nearly completed. He's got his first High Templar coming down. There's now a list of things that he could be doing. Another missile tower coming down at the edge of the main base for MarineKing, just making sure that War Prison will not be able to sneak his way back in too easily. But altogether, I would say these two not losing too much, very close, only 175 resources lost difference between them. Both players going fairly nicely. I'd say the one big advantage ToD has though, and it isn't even that huge, is just the fact that there's no Ghost Academy yet. That means no Ghosts, and there are High Templar already down. But that could change very quickly. ToD taking up his 4th base. He's going to start moving. He's just playing very defensively, playing for the late game, getting a Dark Shrine down. I love that. 1 Archons, 2, he's got the option to just come in, but oh no, a big move out. SCVs are there, but of course SCVs are much help if there is Storm, and of course no Ghost, no way to answer this. This could be a problem for MarineKing. Has he seen that the High Templar are down yet? No, he hasn't. Well, big hits coming down. The Time Warp there as well. Those Storms are massive. The Colossus, one of them, will now fall, but is there any more Storms? That's the question. Well, it doesn't look like it quite yet, and this is a problem for ToD. He's having to retreat back while the Storms were quite big. They just weren't enough to kill off this army. He doesn't have enough support. He's sacrificing up the 3rd base, and he knows SCVs are being pulled. He knows that he's now hugely ahead in terms of the work count. All he's got to do now is somehow hold. He's desperately trying to get out another Colossus. The Viking count still fairly high. If we take a look here, still up at 10 Vikings. ToD needs more time. More than anything, he's morphing in some High Templar. He's going to try and probably make some Archons. 2 Archons could come down, but he won't have enough energy for quite a while to get Storms. He'd have to go for another whole big wave, of course, of Force Fields if he wants to try and do that. He's trying to buy a bit more time. Vikings moving a bit further forward, trying to pick him off, trying to see, is there any Colossus there? Can I move up yet? More units coming across the map. No more SCVs have been pulled quite yet, but we do have a Zealot chipping away at reinforcements. Of course, remember, ToD has lost his 3rd, but the 4th base up here is unbeknown to MarineKing. That means that actually the damage done isn't as hideous as it may have first seemed. More Zealots coming in. The Dark Shrine done, remember, so we could see DTs. Suddenly, these High Templar now just having enough energy in order to start casting Storms. That's the important thing. That's when suddenly MarineKing could run into some problems. His worker count is so exceptionally low. The Zealot's still working away, picking up a couple of things. ToD so far this game, he's killed 40 SCVs. Most of those was during the pull though, not through actual harassment, but a single DT there was working away at a few units. MarineKing not doing too much else yet. Another DT down at the 3rd. Zealots coming in order to try and defend the DT, just to give it a bit more time in case the missile tower tried to come. This is lost mining time now. If we look at the income difference between these 2 players, you can see that it's absolutely staggeringly in favour of ToD with this harassment, just buying himself so much time to get out more Colossi, to get these Photon Cannons up, to get more Storms available, because it's the stormy weather that is going to be so helpful. There's still no Ghost Academy, still no Ghost. The Dark Templar desperately trying to get away. Is he going to be able to make it? No, so close, just at the edge of the line there. Always sucks when you die a couple of meters from the finish line. But yeah, there we go. DT's all cleaned up. MarineKing still with a good amount of units here. The 1 Grave Probe coming down as if to try and retake the 3rd. Not going to happen. The Dark Shrine, of course, already known about because of the DTs coming in with Storms. Being used a bit more defensively. No Colossus found yet. A couple of good force fields meaning the Zealots can close up the distance. We've got to be very cautious how this all goes. Good Storm there on the low ground. So many units getting caught. A couple more. That Storm could have perhaps been a little bit better. ToD just kind of work down this army, reduce the medevac energy, pick apart anything possible. The Viking count a little bit lower now. Some of them landing, some of them getting taken out. Of course, the Colossus is just about to pop. It is there. It needs to come and join the fight, though. That would be essential if it does come down. Very, very helpful. Another one coming down. The first one now joining the army. ToD still trying to hold this off, still ahead in the work count. Another nice little storm there. He's still storming, trying to split this army up. And it's this big army though on the low ground. Nice storm though, picking up quite a few of the units, attempting to keep as much of his life as possible. Another big storm slowly whittling down this army. ToD storms just dealing so much damage, now walking the Archon, even hallucinating an Archon there as well, forcing MarineKing back. There's the lift, there's the retreat, and this now is ToD powering forward. Remember, he's still got this fourth up. This fourth is his saving grace because he's knocked out mining of the third, and he's still got an additional base. The Zealots are there, they can close up the distance though very quickly. There's no missile turret either. That means the Dark Templar can just sit there, forcing another scan. Very frustrating. Definitely not something the MarineKing Prime wants to be spending his money on. But ToD now coming for a bit of a counter aggression. Will scan, will pick that off. Probes transferred down to this fourth base, and this is where ToD's income is going to start skyrocketing. This orbital run is pretty low on health, could get sniped off, and if it were to go down, I don't know if MarineKing could get back from that because his natural base is getting pretty low. His main is mined out, all but one mineral field, and there goes the repair. MarineKing knows he's got to keep that up, but he's completely broke. ToD doesn't have a huge amount of money either, but he is sitting on 2-2 upgrades on both sides. In come the Zealots, in come the High Templar. One up there on the top. Not enough energy to storm, though. Still needs 10 more, but there comes some storms from a few of the other High Templar. Very nicely done, and this infantry ball is just getting lower and lower on HP. Such an epic game. Both of these two players are desperately trying to just get the edge. It's all about a war of attrition, and to be honest, MarineKing Prime probably sitting there thinking, hang on, how is ToD getting all of this stuff? Doesn't know about the fourth. You can see on the minimap there, still has no clue. He's just like, where is this money coming from? The storm's just working this way, and ToD can keep doing this all day. He's ahead by 50 supply. His resources lost are equal, but his income is higher. That I cannot stress enough how important that is, that his income is higher, because it's allowing him to keep making these trades, keep picking off these units, but he's starting to trade more and more cost effectively. We'll need to retreat now though. One of those Colossus is very low. The Viking count is, I think, 0 if I'm not mistaken, just 2 more coming out. So there is one Viking down on the field somewhere. But ToD moving in, he's going to try and pick off a couple more SCVs. He's going to get a few, not a huge number. He does get a storm. Forces back these medevacs again. The medevac's starting to get a bit low on health too. Plus, we've got a Zealot attacking the natural, able to pick off a couple of SCVs here. It may not be a huge number, but ToD now is still 59 workers this game. It is huge. That's more than, well, that's more than most kind of Gold Silver League players will make in an entire match, so that just puts it in perspective. But DT is also coming back through again. Mules, SCVs, they could all start getting chipped away at. This is so frustrating for MarineKing, having to pull back his entire army in order to defend, to pick up one Dark Templar. It may only be a few more workers getting killed, but there's also coming in towards the natural too, because the missile turret that was down there has been taken out. 69 workers now dead. ToD is in an amazing spot. His income, his gas income is hugely higher. MarineKing is only staying in this because of mules, but DTs are just relentless. ToD is just taxing his opponent in any way possible. Just saying, I want all the time in the world. I want to get this +3 done. I want to get a 200 army. I want this third base mining again. I want to be taking the lead, and because of that, we see MarineKing is coming for the push. He's saying, well, I can't keep doing this. I know my opponent's getting ahead. He's pulling the mules as well, because why not? But where are the storms? How many High Templar are there? There's 8 on the field. These storms, oh my gosh, these storms, plus a DT in the mix, that's going to mean another scan will have to be used, otherwise the DPS is fairly huge from it. Probes getting pulled, and while the third has gone down, is it now MarineKing is going to discover that there's a base up here? He sees the photon cannon, and this could be the moment that he realises how he lost this game, and why ToD was able to just get so much stuff out. I think the GG is going to have to get called, and there we go, GG down. Game number 1 goes to Mr. ToD. So congratulations to him there. Definitely in a good position. But thank you all very much for watching this game, and well, if you enjoyed it, make sure that you like the video. And I can't switch screen with my hotkeys for some reason, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like it, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. Plus check me out on Twitter @Madals91, and of course on Twitch to see my live streaming, twitch.tv/Madals. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.